And here, that comes down to a true on. I'm biting you, you biting me. We scratch each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're like, you want to go? Hey, stop it! You guys supposed to be friends.
Oh yeah, no. Like in the other one, it's like, oh, Bagheera, why are you? Baloo, oh Baloo, why are you so irresponsible? And this was like, the fuck you say to me? Get off me, man! They
fucking kill you.
This shit looks like something out Jurassic World.
Right.
As I said, we get Martin and the Betty Bye. And our first review is for Mowgli. Who Mowgli? Y'all know that boy. Ran around all them jungle animals. And bears and them wolves and
tigers
and panthers. And yeah, he was. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved Mowgli except that tiger. Tiger said, fuck him. What's his name? Shira, whatever.
Shere Khan.
Shere Khan hated this boy.
I ate his mama, and I'm going to eat him too.
Yeah.
Y'all owed him to me.
Yeah. Shit. Mama was a nice meal. Now I need dessert. Bring that boy over here. He been hunting that dessert for years. Like, man, eat something else. Because this ain't worth it. And you know, the other question is, how many times are we going to watch this battle between Mowgli and Shere Khan? I mean, how many times can we tell this story? How many different ways can you tell this story? I mean, we've seen several different versions over the year, but it's the same thing. And people would say, well, because technology is better. They can make these animals look real when they're talking now. Well, it was what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2016 that we had that Disney one? Uh-huh. So technology ain't advanced that much.
No, it has not.
To where we needed a new one right here. But Andy Serkis said, well, you know what?
I got to tell the story my way.
Yeah. Y'all ain't heard it my way. And plus, I get to play every fucking animal in the movie. That's what it really was. It was a bad
Andy Serkis circus.
Yeah. So he says, you know something, but everybody been afraid to do that dark version of it. And everybody afraid to do Rudyard Kipling's True Vision. But time is now, and I'm the man for it. Let's go ahead. Look at that right there. Now, Baloo ain't never looked like that before. For a good reason. Damn, Baloo got mange and bear.
I know.
Baloo got bear AIDS and everything.
Yeah, this ain't none of that happy-go-lucky Baloo.
No, Baloo, look at him right there. Help me. She don't even look like it. That look like a Baloo came back from the grave. He got a zombie bear, yeah. But Andy Serkis, he said, that's my vision.
Oi, mate.
You want to hang with me, boy? No, that's all right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest vision of Andy Serkis and what he considers to be his original take on the Jungle Book. You know, as original as you can get with an old tale like this. And then we'll be back with our review.
I won't fail.
Now, some of you are saying, wait a minute, I remember seeing
Pretty sure
this.
I saw this movie.
Well, yeah, you've seen it several times. But a lot of people are saying, you know what, I remember seeing this trailer, and I don't remember seeing that Netflix logo down there. Now, what's going on here? Help me, Corey, help me. I don't like this. What happened was WB Warner Brothers, they were supposed to release this at one time.
Right.
And then for some reason that we don't know, or maybe there's a story out there, I haven't heard it yet. Have you heard this? Why they passed it off to Netflix?
No, what was the reason?
Because it's going to freak kids the fuck out. That's why. You know, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, hell yeah. I can see why Warner Brothers handed this off, because they're about to scare the shit out of these little kids out there. And I know that Andy Serkis was a little upset about this, but I don't think, personally, this is just my opinion. I think that was a better decision to give to Netflix. I don't know if it would have worked completely like Warner Brothers would want it to in the theaters. It might have to a certain degree, but I don't think to what goals they had it for. You know, when you think of Jungle Book, you think of that bear dancing with that skirt on. You know, you still think of these songs, bare necessities. Yeah. And, you thinking of monkeys playing with Mowgli and
Ooby-doo.
Yeah, ooby-dooby-doo. You thinking of that. Shere Khan, he was an asshole, but he was You know, he wasn't like he wasn't that scary. He was all right. You know, he was
man, he was scary.
What in the original?
Yeah.
I thought he was just a dick. You know what? I liked him because he had that chin. Yeah, like, you know, he's got a real
that big Don Bluth.
Yeah, he had a real defined chin. I was just like, he can't be that bad.
Nah, he was a dick, but he was a murderer also.
Well, you never saw him actually do it. You know, he only said he was going to murder somebody. Personally, Martin, I don't think he was going to do shit.
Okay.
I think he was just talking. People thought that the last Jungle Book was dark, the one from Disney, the one in 2016.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, though, the Jungle Book that we got now makes this Jungle Book makes that Jungle Book from 2016 look like Winnie the Pooh. Because this is, I mean, if your kids were scared of this of the 2016 Jungle Book, this Jungle Book, if they were scared of this Jungle Book right here, this new one's gonna make their heart stop. Y'all gonna be watching and you're just gonna look over and just gonna be a dead kid next to you. So what'd you think? Son! Looking like something out the rain.
Oh, they're gonna be out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I ain't going back in there.
Just frozen.
Mama.
With the darker tone, the darker tone that is chosen to take, I think that it makes for an uneven film. Now, there are parts in here where the animals, and see, the thing with me, Martin, with Andy Serkis doing this with a lot of motion capture, is that they've captured a lot of the humanity or a lot of the human aspects of the animals, which means that animals, you do see more of a human expression in them than you see an animal expression. And the movie starts out with some of these animals it's funny because when you put human expressions on these creatures, they start to take on a more cartoony resemblance. And in the beginning, it's already, you can already tell that it's a darker film, but it looks cute. I'm looking at a little monkey right here. You know, some of these characters start out really cute, or they start out sort of as Disney characters. And I know this is not Disney, but I'm saying that in a way where I'm talking about like some of these characters are sidekicks. Yeah. The funny sidekick that you would see for the villain.
Right.
You know, they have funny voices, and you know, they really do look like something out of a talking animal animated film. More on the comedic side and more on the family side. But once the movie gets going, you see that they stop playing. These animals, things get a lot rougher here. With these animals, where they were, at first when they started out kind of cute or cartoonish, it doesn't take long before things just get really rough with the characters. Rough in the design, and that's what I'm talking about. Like that hyena right there. Yeah, that hyena is a straight up Disney sidekick.
Sure. Matter of fact, he's every hyena sidekick you ever see.
He is cackling and shit. Hey man, let me hold $5, man. All that goddamn laughing and get out of here.
Yeah, you tell him, boss.
Yeah. And he's a little bitch ass too.
Of course,
like
they always are.
Because I mean, but in a way where he's just a snitch.
Yeah.
When they find Mowgli in the jungle, when they first find him, the wolves find him. Here comes his nose ass creeping up. What you got there, huh? Wait, what is that? And they're like, look, it's a man cub. Just don't say shit. Just give us a day, all right? Hey, shit, they got a man cub. And like, we knew he wasn't gonna shut up, man. Bitch ass.
They should have killed him.
They right there. But I feel like you probably are not as harsh in this area as I am. Like you do, but do you see what I'm talking about?
I do to a degree. I mean, as far as what you're saying about the characters, yes, they bleed over into being anthropomorphized to the point of, at times, it's almost like watching the Island of Dr. Moreau, where you have animal-human hybrids.
Yeah, they're like mutants.
Yeah, when you get to Baloo, you're kind of like, God damn.
Oh yeah, with Baloo, that's what I'm saying, man. Because when I say these characters get rough, when the design of them gets really crude, you know, then the animals, they take on even a more, I would say, a disturbing look.
Yes.
I'm trying to be nice, but no,
disturbing. This is like post-apocalyptic jungle.
Yeah, it is not. Like Baloo right there. Baloo looks like a homeless man.
Yeah.
You know, Baloo like
Like somebody who would be a drunken sot on the streets of London.
yeah. Baloo got that Jerry curl all over his body and his rough face. And Baloo, when he talks, and Baloo is rough. Baloo looks like he is just diseased.
Yes.
All over. Like whatever.
I seen it all, mate.
Whatever the last thing you did, you should have wore a condom because he looks like shit. And I mean, and it really does look like he's just falling apart. Like when he talks, it look like he's drunk half the time.
Yeah, and his lip is split permanently on one side.
He got that lip. Hey, Mowgli. Hey, buddy. I ain't your buddy, man. Get the fuck away from me. You see? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He looks diseased. He looks zombified. He looks like he has every STD in the jungle. The hyena. Like that hyena's ass is just dirty. Just constantly flies.
Yeah.
Just hovering around his ass.
Matted hair.
Yeah. It's in a way that's cool because they really are trying to like show you how this is not a place for Mowgli. It is a rough place. Animals here are not clean. Animals are not nice. You know, the jungle, everything is trying to eat you, fuck you, kill you.
Right. Welcome to the jungle, baby.
Yeah, you gonna die, but you gonna suffer a whole lot before that. And I just think that the contrast between those bits of lighter tones, those cartoony moments, straight up cartoony moments they have in here, in contrast to the tone that we get later, does not fit, because not only do these animals look more disturbing or look more wild, more feral, they are also more harsh in character. They're not aloof. Like, you know, when I was talking about all that dancing, they don't bring that dancing around here. No. They're very stern. They're very harsh. And
matter of fact,
and very matter of fact, and you know, the movie takes that sort of attitude to the whole thing. If you want to survive, life is hard, and you have to be rough and talk to rough, treat it rough in order to survive it. How are you feeling about that?
I feel it's that to a point, but as you say, it also has those cartoony moments. The whole time watching this, I felt like Andy Serkis was so like, man, I grew up, he grew up reading the Jungle Book, hated what Disney did, and when he heard they were making a live action movie, he was like, no, I cannot watch them do this to this book again. I got to make my own, tell the real story, the real deal, show how harsh it is, and get it out there so people know the truth. But by the time he made this one, they made that live action one that actually wasn't just a carbon copy of the cartoon, where they added some of this stuff. So his comes out, and it's different, but not that.
And that's the old one right there. But you see, it's not.
Yeah, it's not different enough to justify making it.
I think, and I don't want to keep comparing this to the 2016 film, but the 2016 film, it found a good balance.
It did, because it has its harsh. It's a good balance of taking a lot from the original cartoon, but then also making it harsher. Because you're watching this Shere Khan is scary.
He is.
No, he's terrifying.
He really is.
There's no doubt he's ready to kill anything and everybody in his way.
Martin,
you get chills when you hear that he's around.
Oh,
yeah. When you see a flash of orange, you're like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. No, the thing is, he ain't fucking around.
No.
And we already saw that. Like we saw him actually murder in the last movie. We saw him. We saw his cruelty. We saw his relentless nature. Now, I'm not saying that this movie can't go dark, the one that we have now. No, not at all. But what I'm saying is that, again, there are certain things here where with the movie, you're either going to have to stick to some of the darkness that you have, or you're going to have to find the balance like some of these other movies have. I think that because in addition to some of the lighthearted, what seems like more family-friendly moments in this movie, it quickly goes into areas where they show these animals as animals. When I say they start out cute, it takes about 5 minutes to turn to teeth and claws. And everything involves teeth and claws after that. These animals are scary. Not just Shere Khan, all of them.
Sure.
They're scary. They get into arguments, and when they get into arguments, I mean, it ain't like you and me arguing right here. They tear each other apart.
Yeah, we've seen Baloo and Bagheera have their little back and forths, and it just something like, oh, gone, man. And here, that comes down to a true-on, I'm biting you, you biting me, we scratch each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're like, you want to go, hey, stop it. You guys supposed to be friends.
Oh, yeah. No. Like in the other one, it's like, oh, Bagheera, why are you, Baloo, oh, Baloo, why are you so irresponsible? And this was like, the fuck you say to me? Get off me, man. They
fucking kill you.
This shit looks like something out of Jurassic World.
Right.
It's bloody when they fight. There's moments where you see animals being animals to the point where they kill. And it's not just, there's some scenes in there where they kill, and you accept it as a law of the jungle. It's cool they show that, but then they are not opposed to showing throughout the film the dead carcasses of animals, complete with blood, guts hanging out, flies around the corpse. It really doesn't. Now, I'm not saying that those are bad things. You just don't fit together for this film. I'm not, but I would tell you, there are moments in here where I think that it finally has, later in the movie, it kind of finds its ways because it doesn't keep playing on the family-friendly stuff. It gets it out the way early. One of the things that this movie does that is different from all the other Jungle Books that I've seen, maybe some of the older ones that I don't remember, but let's just start with the Disney one and go up to like the 90s one and then go to the one in 2016. I think from the movies I've seen, more than ever, this is Mowgli's story.
Right. It's much more Mowgli central.
Yeah,
or centric.
It's more more than ever his story, his conflict, and plus, I think this is the most humans that I've ever seen with speaking parts. In a Jungle Book movie. And I'm not saying that hasn't been done before. I'm just saying from my memory. But being that that's from my memory, that was refreshing to see.
Sure.
I gotta say that this kid, man, Rowan Chan, I believe is his name. There's a lot of scenes in here in CG where you see him, doing things like being animalistic, and he's doing things like before he meets the humans, he's running on all fours throughout the movie. And I gotta say that throughout the film, and when I see him running on all fours, it's clear that Andy Serkis tried to choose some guy that had the same, the sort of could do the same physicalities that he could. Now there's, like I said, there's a lot of effects that make him like leap and jump and and do some of the things that animals do. But this kid has to actually, you see him, and he actually has to do a lot of scenes walking on his knuckles, walking like an ape. And for that young kid to, look, he's young, so his body can handle it right now. But for a young kid to be
he's
able,
all cartilage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you break something, it'll be. You remember your kid, and your finger used to get caught in a car door?
Yeah.
Now today, I'll break your hand. Yeah, this kid, I will say, his physical ability.
Well, I always liked that kid ever since I saw him in Bad Words.
Yeah.
And so it was good to see him growing up. He's still very small for his age, so I think that's what allows him to be able to do these things.
And still ain't grown into them eyes. Still got them big eyes. I mean, he still got, but there's, because
he's still cute.
When he was a little boy, he was cute. Yeah. Now he's like an animal that's growing out of it. I think the voice work in this is great.
It is.
You saw some of the names that they had here.
Yeah, Christian Bale and
Christian Bale as Bagheera, and you had Benedict Cumberbatch.
He's Shere Khan.
Shere Khan. Yeah. Oh hell yeah! Still got that smog dragon voice.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett is the snake. What's his name? Ka. Yeah. Naomi Harris is the mother wolf.
So is Andy Serkis Baloo?
He's Baloo.
Okay, because I kept trying to go like, whose voice is that? Is that Ray Winstone? All right.
No, yeah, he's Baloo. I think talking about how they have more humans in here. I think that's cool that they do that, except there's one part where I don't think it worked at all. It kind of worked a little bit, but they just rushed the story. The subplot with the hunter.
The hunter and the elephant?
The hunter and the elephant.
Yeah, I know, because when that hit its conclusion, I was like, wait, did I miss something?
Yeah, it was over like that. Like they put a lot of investment into telling you about this hunter and him and Mowgli's relationship. And while it kind of took an interesting turn, that played into nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, why is this dude even here?
I know. And then it's like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting here watching it the whole time, but I feel like I missed something.
Yeah, man, did you dirty, man? Just came in there for nothing, man. Sorry to waste your time, sir. But one of the things about this movie is that you have to remember overall with the darker tone, it's not just darker. That darker tone brings in a lot of depressing stuff in there too. There were a couple of things in here. I was like, damn, that just almost ruined my day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a subplot in here where Mowgli, I'm not going to spoil anything.
Oh.
Mowgli saw something.
Okay.
And I was like, that is cold, man.
Yeah.
I was like, why you doing this to these kids? That is hard. I'm an adult. And even that's hard for me. I'm not saying you shouldn't have done it, but I was like, wow, that's depressing. There's a lot that I might be criticizing this movie for, but there's also a lot that I like the movie for. And one of the things that really works with the movie shifting into this darker place is that I think this grudge between Shere Khan and Mowgli, I think I like the way they played it up here. Because like I said, man, I like in some of the other versions, Shere Khan, make no doubt, he's pissed and he's determined to get Mowgli. But here, I've never seen the hatred like this Shere Khan.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, I felt that come across in the other two Disney movies.
I felt it too. But for some reason here, the others I hated hatred. This is like just an obsession that he has with Mowgli. And it's because it gets to a point where I'm just like, man, look, it's not just hatred now. You are mentally ill. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Look at yourself. Go to that pond and look at yourself.
That was I guess that's what yeah, that was the point I got from this. Like, man, this is one where hatred and obsession has turned into almost a mental illness with this guy. To the point where he's ready to destroy the jungle.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's kind of like Scar in that he wants to run everything, even though he's going to run it into the ground.
Well,
I mean, Scar's got a lot. Mentally ill. I'm sorry, calling him Scar. Shere Khan.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of bats in his head. Mm-hmm. That's why even the rest of the animals are like, he keeps fucking with those humans, and they're going to kill us all.
That's what it was.
Why can't he see this and just chill out?
It was an obsession to the point where just like, man, this is, they were telling me, like, this is crazy, right? And then somebody said, now say that to his face. Quit practicing in the river, right? Looking at your image. No, it's, but what that obsession that he had, what I like about their relationship in this movie more than I saw before, it turned into where they had a relationship. It was something where they were intertwined with each other, Mowgli and Shere Khan, more than they ever had been. Even you see it when they have to finally have that big climax together, where this is something. It was like a Batman Joker thing. Yeah, where their fates were just kind of intertwined to the point where it wasn't just hatred that Mowgli had for him. Mowgli also had sadness for him, because they had been at each other so long, they almost kind of understood each other.
And I see what you mean, the way it ties to
There was one line where Mowgli told him something. I was like, wow, that means a lot.
No, you're right. You're right. You are correct about that. I just thought the trade-off was, at least with the last movie, it was more mutual. And I did like that, to where Mowgli was like, yeah, you killed my mother, so you killed my family. I want to get you too.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I got. See, in the last movie, they just kind of, Shere Khan died in a typical Disney kind of way for a villain. It wasn't good, but it was like, okay, you just gone. And here, if you know the story, you know the fate of Shere Khan, you know the fate of Mowgli. I thought it had a deeper meaning here. I thought that the score for this is great. They have an Indian score for this, an Indian influence score for this. I really thought that was good. Listen, I say this is better for Netflix, but I say that because I have the whole time I had a feeling like if people had seen this in the theater, it would be kind of hard to realize who this is for. Being on Netflix gives the feeling that, this is what you need Netflix for people to go in and play around like this, experiment with this. When those rare, cute moments don't fit, they don't fit, but I like the direction that the movie took. And even though it's on Netflix, as a rating, I would give it a matinee.
And you're right. The little places where it stands out, I do like. The making it more Indian influence is certainly one of them. And yes, that very conclusion that added more dimension to Mowgli, I like that quite a bit. And in concept, I like the idea of it going darker and being the thing that's going to adhere more to the original story. However, in practice, this is that movie where, man, if that movie didn't come out 2 years ago, I'd be all over this.
Yeah, yeah.
But it did.
So I can't.
And it already, most of the things that are good about this, it already did. But the one of the biggest things that I can't not say this is that the CGI just doesn't look nearly as good.
No, it does not.
It took me about 30 minutes to get over going, oh man, this looks bad. This looks like some video game stuff, and not even maybe a recent video game. And I know, it doesn't help having the Disney one where they had all the money in the world to make it look perfect to compare it to. But it was just kind of like, I don't know if maybe just because it went to Netflix and they cut the budget on it, or it was just never there.
You know what I think?
But that's a huge stumbling block.
That's what I was telling you about when they. I don't know if this would have helped to try to make them look more like animals, but that was the problem with me when they actually tried to add more human elements to the animals. I said, man, after seeing that, after they made actual animals talk,
yeah,
I don't need to see like these hybrids up here.
Yeah,
I don't think that was a wise decision.
I mean, there was nothing they could do, but it's just, it never looks real. It's just that you just have to wait for the story to kick in and overwhelm it. I'm not one to get hung up on these things, but I'm like, that's a big part of this movie, and you just can't pretend you don't see it. You know what I mean?
I know. No, I know. No, I hear you, man. I agree.
But outside of that, everything else is fine. There are things where Ka the snake is not scary, and I mean, for everything in here that's scarier, there's something that's not as scary or not as entertaining. Were it in the theater, I would still give it a low matinee.
Okay.
It's just that if somebody said go watch it, I would say the caveat is the CG is terrible. Now that you know that,
yeah,
hopefully you can get past it.
And you know what? That's sort of a compliment to the movie, man. You were still good despite your shitty CG.
That's all over the place in every single goddamn frame.
There you go. Put that on the post.
And I'm sure, I feel bad for Andy Serkis because you can see a lot of work went into this, and still he has to look at the end and go like, the fuck, man.
Yeah, I know. He's hurt right now. He's somewhere talking about, we hates it. Hates it. I don't think I've ever told you this, but my mother hates me. But you love me. I mean, you stayed here for the whole video. So please support us even more by subscribing to this YouTube channel. And if you want more of us, go over to doubletoasted.com and watch the longer form version of this very video right here, along with the live streaming videos that we do almost every night of the week. Go to dtmerch.com, support us over there, and stay, that's right, toasty.